Let's get out our worksheet, our packets from yesterday. I believe we did day 1, the quiz 1 and 2. Now, let me just share something with you so that if we go right up to the end of the bell, can I just tell you what your homework is today?
Sure.
I know it's kind of backwards, but just in case, because I know a lot of you, when we rush out of here, the bell rings, you guys want to leave, and then you know half of what the homework is, and you get confused and you get home. So let me just, right now, you guys agree that in the packet that I assigned those problems last night, you have 2 problems left. Day 3, I believe, okay? So obviously, after we go through day 3, those 2 problems will obviously be part of your assignment. And then the packet that you picked up here are actually the missing problems from your packet from yesterday. You can blame it on the operator of a copy machine. That was me. I just put the setting on wrong, so it only copied the front of every page instead of the back to back. So that was the problem. So here in this packet, you also will have these problems. So day 2, okay, so obviously day 2 wasn't in your packet yesterday, right? And then you have day 4, which we're going to cover today, those 2 problems, and then the rest of the quiz page. Okay, so you have a total of how many problems for homework? 8. Count again.
So we just do the whole packet?
You do this whole packet. You finish basically both assessment packets, whatever I give you. Simple. Okay? That's basically as simple as I can put it. Finish both packets, and you'll be all good. Okay? All right, so let's go through the first problem on day 1. Can someone share with us? Let's see. Day 1, Rachel, what did she do? Can you just read your statement at the bottom of your problem, please? Share with the class what you got for number 1. Jocelyn.
Rachel drinks 80 ounces of water each day.
Very good. Rachel drinks 80 ounces of water today is the correct answer. How about number 2, Mr. Edgetts, or we decided to go French with that, Edget? Like Target? Okay. So what about his algebra 2 class? Noah?
There are 24 juniors.
In his class. Very good. Awesome. Any questions on those 2?
Nope.
Okay, we're good? All right, let's go to day... No, just kidding. Go to quiz 1, number 1 on the quiz. Omar. Can someone share with us what about Omar? Brian?
Omar made 63 free throws.
Very good. Excellent. How about number 2? How about FDR High School? And the seniors. Jonathan?
70 seniors attend college.
Not 70. Lainey?
245 seniors attend college.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan, what happened with that? Where'd you get 70, honey?
70.
Now, hey, Jonathan, can I ask you a question? Did you get 98? Did you divide 98 by 2?
Yes.
What is your box? When you filled in, filled in the parts of your model, of your bars, how much is each box worth? How many seniors are in each box?
49.
Okay. And what did you do with 49? To figure out how many actually attended college.
I have no clue how I got 70.
All right, so you should have taken 49 and multiplied it by 5, right?
Yeah.
That's the calculation you would have got if you would have got Lainey's answer. Okay, so just be careful with that. So Jonathan, you see how you could correct yourself there? You got 49, but obviously I don't know how you got 70 because I don't know how you get 70. Huh?
I think
49 goes 2 times 7. Well, it's 7 times 7. Goes into 49. But there's no way to multiply 49 to 7. Yeah.
Or add, you'd have to add a part.
I
That
think
would
I
not be equal to 49. All right, so any questions on those 4 problems that I assigned last night?
Nope.
All right, let's go with R3 and the star theater. Let's talk about the theater and the seating. So I want someone to read the question to yourself. And remember, the first step on our process is to read, obviously, and then rewrite the question as a statement.
Is this in our notes?
This is in your note packet. We're back to notes. Sorry. Remember, your notes go with your assessment problems. So obviously you use your notes to help you with your problems that you take home. Okay? So you guys, everyone on the slide, should say R3 at the bottom. Remember what the R4s and R3s mean? Okay? All right. Everyone good now? All right. So read the problem. I'll give you a minute. And then if someone wants to raise their hand and share with us how we could restate that as a statement, the question as a statement, I would appreciate your sharing. Noah, what do you think, hon? The theater has what? All right, so we have the theater. All right, are we good? So we're talking seats, which means, are we talking regular or balcony or both? Okay, all right, got that. So we know where we're headed. All right, it's nice to know where we're going. All right, now the next thing, if you want, you can get out a straight edge. Remember, we used our lanyards yesterday, the IDs, to help us. If you want to do it freehand today and try it out, that's fine. But some of us like that structure where it at least looks semi neat. That's up to you. So I recommend that you use a straight edge. So we're going to use our little start position here. And could someone remind us, what does a ratio do? What's the definition of a ratio? What does it do for us? Gia? Yeah, so what are we comparing in this theater? What are the two things we're comparing? Maya?
Regular seating to balcony.
Yeah, and guys, remember, this is your notes. All right? So if you want to use, aren't you the one looking at your notes? Am I looking at your notes? No. So one thing to keep in mind is when you take notes, just like when I took notes as a student, you can obviously do some abbreviations, make it short and sweet, all right? Because you're the one looking at it, not me, all right? I'm going to just do balcony, so I'm just going to shorten it up. Is that good? What about the balcony here? What do we know? Regular to balcony, what's the ratio? 4 to 1? Mm-hmm. All right, so remember I told you yesterday, which one do I ask you to draw first? The larger or smaller? Larger one first, and then for the larger picture, we can shrink, remember we use that to line up for the smaller one. So I'm going to draw my 4 here. And remember, even numbers, you do halfy, half, half. All right? And then obviously 1, remember, take your ID over to the first block, bring it down, draw your little mark with your straight edge. Now, some students actually had their IDs and they actually borrowed a ruler that they could see through because it made it easier because they could see right through it and they could see what's going on, but that's up to you. All right, so from here, what else do we know? Is there anything else we can label? Is there anything else we can label? Hannah?
The question mark.
What are we trying to find?
How many altogether?
And do you guys remember how to do that? Remember we used like some of, remember that? Do we need to use that? I don't. I just use this. Okay, you just use a big bar, big grouping. Kind of looks like an alligator mouth. Okay, that's fine too. You can do a bracket, just to make sure that it obviously includes both the regular bars and the balcony bars here parts. Yeah.
Isn't the regular seating, isn't it 420?
Yep. So we have to plug that in.
Oh.
Yep, absolutely. Because otherwise, right now we have no numbers to work with, do we? In our picture. That's a problem. So 420. Where are we going to put that? Obviously, what does 420 represent? You said regular seats. So remember that if it's only on that bar, we're just going to put that attached to that bar. That 420, does it include the balcony? Not at all. All right. Otherwise, wouldn't that answer our question? We wouldn't have to even do the problem. That would have been nice, right? So, anybody have any ideas how to begin the process here? What's up? Ramsey, what's your idea, hon?
420 divided by 4.
All right, because our 420 has to be equally divided into these 4 equal groups, right? Isn't that what the bar means? That obviously we can divide that. And Ramsey, what's 420 divided by 4?
105.
Okay, 105. And obviously with that 105, what do we do with the 105, Dominic? Okay, do you know where to put the 105? What does that 105 represent?
The boxes.
Yes, the boxes. Okay, so we're going to put that, right? Don't we put that number inside so we can see how much each box represents? If these 4 boxes are equal to 105, what is the part down here worth? 105. They're all equal parts. Okay?
You're smart for it off today.
A little bit. All right, so now, what kind of calculation could we do in order to, do we have enough to obviously do our, you remember that's our question. We want to make sure we can answer that. Brian, what's one way we can do that?
We take 105 and multiply it by 5.
We could do that, couldn't we? Don't we have 5 105s in all these parts? What, does anybody see another way we could do it? Wes?
Add 105 to 420.
Does it matter, Wes? Either what Brian said or what Wes said, is it going to get us still to the answer? Sure it is. I don't care. So this, like right here, this number 2, how you calculate it versus how I have it on my board, how I would have calculated it, we could be different. And we're still ultimately going to be at the end, we're going to get to the same answer. At that point, guys, I don't really care. Which way does your brain take you? We're both going to get to the end product. That's not where, I'm not going to dictate which way is better. Because it's not. There is no better way. I don't know. It's what you prefer. All right. So 105 times 5, and that's going to be what? 5 what? 525. And what's our last thing? What do we have to do? What's our last step over there? Fill in the blank. So the theater holds 525 seats. Now, I don't know if you guys remember day 1 and day 2 from yesterday, but day 1, remember, again, they gave us the whole total, and then we had to figure out either the regular or the balcony. Day 2, I believe, gave us one of the ones that we had here. The question mark was, either we were trying to find balcony, they gave you regular, or they gave you balcony, or you had to find balcony, and they gave, hang on, the other way around, whatever. Yeah, what I'm saying. All right, you got it. But in day 3, obviously, they gave you one of them, and they want the total. So day 1, 2, and 3 is basically the question mark is either where it is in number 5, which is the total, or the question mark would end up here, or the question mark would end up here. Correct? It could be in any of those 3 spots. So day 1, day 2, and day 3, kind of similar, just different spots where the question mark is. It's day 4 that kind of throws a little curveball at you. So do you guys want to do one more day 3, or you guys think you want to do day 4? Because I want to do both day 4s if you don't mind. Because it actually throws in, it's kind of bringing it to more of a closer to a 7th grade level than what these are. These are probably 5th or 6th. Okay? And now we're heading towards the level of your ability, which is what I want. What?
Are we in like 8th grade?
Huh?
Are we in
I will show you how to do algebraic ones, yeah. But that's, because the thing is when you take the 8th grade algebra part test, there might be some algebraic ones. They actually use equations with these.
Did we take the 8th grade test this year?
Not this year, next year. That's why you take the 7th grade test this year, because that's why I'm teaching you what you should have learned in 7th grade, because you didn't learn this last year. Do you know what I mean? Like the extent of it, like all the equation work, the inequality work, you would have missed all that if I went right to 8th grade. You see what I'm saying? And then you would have taken a 7th grade test and went, huh? Not that you couldn't do that, or what we've done this year. I think you guys have been very successful. Okay, but if I don't expose it to you, your brain, like, what's that? So.
Are we going to have to learn what mortgage is?
Huh?
Don't we do that next? For the part test, we're going to have to learn what mortgage is and everything?
Well, you don't have to worry about what mortgages are, but how to work with percentages. I mean, I'll teach you how to do that.
Oh.
All right. I like to do it when we do the credit card unit. That's when it makes more sense, because I think that's more relevant to what you guys, you can talk to your parents about it. They have credit cards. They understand how credit cards work. A lot of people that own homes don't know how the mortgage works. Like, is it compound interest? Is it not? Is it, you get the top, are you paying your principal last or first? I don't know. Okay? Is it, is it a 15 or 30 year, fixed? All very complicated.
Are all the questions on
All right.
the part the same? Or is it like different tests?
I have no idea. We're going to go practice it sometime before the test. We'll go practice. Okay? All right, Noah? So you guys don't walk into a brick wall when you get in there. All right? Okay? Because I have to take you out of this comfort zone. Like when you come in my class, obviously you associate with math. We're going to go to a computer lab where there's no posters. There's blank walls. Nothing. But you. and the computer. All right, here we go. Now, we have a couple things. We have, first of all, make sure you're on this second problem, or the first one, R4. Make sure you're on the back page, right? The first one on the back page. And read the problem. And look what we're doing now. We're taking it one step further. We've never found what they want us, or asking us in this problem. So, what I did was, as I read this, and I read the question, what is the new ratio of the comic books to Toby's? So or his comic books to Toby's, which we're talking about Tim. So how I just put it is this. I'm gonna do this one for you, and then obviously you can get the gist. If it's asking for a new ratio, all I did was this. The new ratio is blank to blank. Is that not how you read a ratio? If it was 3/4, wouldn't you say 3 to 4? Is that how you say it in words? So that's how I just wrote it. Is that good? Because that's a ratio. That's how you recite a ratio. So now we're gonna draw the picture. We're gonna draw the bars, just like we did before. So what are we comparing? Olivia?
Tim's comic books to Toby's comic.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put Tim and Toby here. And what is the ratio?
4 to 5.
Maya?
4 to 5.
4 to 5. So we're gonna draw Tim or Toby's bar first. Toby's. Remember I remind you of when it's an odd number. Remember, cut off this and then now divide this half. Just then it's a little bit more even. That helps. All right, and then Tim. Remember, you bring your ID all the way over to the 4 parts in Toby's. Line it up. Draw your line so it kind of matches up, and then you can draw your 4s. So it's kind of, hopefully, as equal as possible. All right, any questions so far? Everyone good? All right, now, hopefully you didn't work ahead because you might have to erase some things. So now as you look at this, what else do they tell us?
Oh, I remember doing these.
Kaylin?
This one has 48 comic books.
Now wait. Hang on. Hold the phone. Does Tim really have 48 comic books?
No.
No. So this is where it gets a little complicated because we want to make sure that when we set, remember when we add on the end of the bar, what that bar total equals here? When we put this number right here, that's what that bar equals. But is that what Tim's comic books equal?
No.
No. But do you agree that these 4 equal that? Just from there to there? Everyone okay with that? Now what else do we know? Because obviously Tim doesn't stop there. Addie?
Tim bought 2 more comic books.
Yes, and this is why I state this. You guys see this bar? First of all, before we add on, we have to figure out how much of a we kind of got to make it a little accurate. Because if I was going to add 2, okay, I use a dotted box, but hang on, don't do that yet. Do you think that 2 really represents that big of a box?
No.
No. So that's kind of the issue. Before you can add on, you need to figure out how much is these boxes worth. Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right, what can we do, Noah?
48 divided by 4.
Yeah, so let's do that first, because otherwise, when we add that 2 onto Tim's bar, it can't be bigger than what these boxes are worth if these boxes are worth more than 2. Are those boxes worth 2?
No.
No, so you're going to have to adjust the box. That's what I'm saying. All right, so we got 42 divided by, 48, sorry. 48 divided by 2 by 4. Hello, Mrs. Alms. Get your head out of the gutter. Must have Pasta didn't agree with me here. All right, come on. 4 is equal to 12. Okay, so now obviously we know that 12 so we have those 12 equals, so that box is equal to 12. So if I would have put another dotted box out here and said 2, that would look a little not proportionate. All right, so what about these? What do we know about these? These are also what? They are also 12. So let's fill all the boxes in right now. And now we have to make sure that our bars what is, we had 2 to Tim's. I'm going to try to see if I can get this more accurate this time. I can't make a really small one. There we go. That's as small as I can go on my board. But you guys can make an adjustment as much as you can. Okay, obviously it's smaller than 12, so we're just going to go there. It probably could be smaller than that. But what does this equal? Well, how could we calculate that to get to the total for Tim? What's a calculation that we could do? Jocelyn?
You could add 48 plus 2.
There you go. So 48 plus 2, that's going to help us figure out that total, which is 50. And what kind of calculation could we use to get to Toby's total? What could we do? Trey?
12 times 5.
12 times 5, which is what?
60.
Excuse you. Now, how could we rewrite the ratio? Because the given ratio is 4 to 5. What's our new ratio? Brian?
50 to 60, or simplified 5 to 6.
There you go. 50 to 60, or you could write it as a, if you want to, what else, how else could you write this? A fraction, sure, absolutely. I mean 2 or a colon, but when you write it in here, obviously 5 to 6 is the simplified form because you can just cancel the zeros, can't you? So 5 to 6. Huh?
That was an easy one.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's just there's a lot more steps that go on. It's an extra, boost there, Maya.
There's nothing on this, but it's about that. Do we still have pie day? Yeah, I wonder what we'll find out.
Okay,
I wonder if
that means yes.
We need to focus. Let's focus.
I can't focus now that I'm thinking of pie.
All right, let's do this one. The ratio of Tanya's CDs to Anita's CDs was 2 to 3. Anita's had 42 CDs. When Tanya lost 4 CDs, what was the new ratio of Tanya's and CDs to Anita's? So again, last one, we bought 2, right? Now Tanya lost 4, so obviously this is going to illustrate what operation? Subtraction. So I just want to make sure you guys have one example of each of them, just in case whatever. I know the quiz has one of each day, so I don't know which. Is he going to add or subtract on one of the quiz problems? So we have, again, I would just use the generic, the new ratio is blank to blank. And then, who are we comparing? Tanya and Anita. It's not Tony, it's Tanya. Last one was 2 boys, this time it's 2 girls.
Tonia.
Huh?
Tonia.
Tonia. Whatever you want to say.
Tony.
All right, so we have 2 to 3, so which one are we going to draw first? Which one are we going to draw first? Anita. And hers is what, 3? So we're going to cut her in thirds. I'm not actually her. But her bar of.
You're a surgeon, don't do that.
All right.
Better make sure you put on like an apron or something.
Okay, simmer down.
Hey, that's wrong. You're literally medical school.
That's probably where I got it from. Simmer down there, Tonto. All right, here we go. What about 42? That's a number that might be useful to help us. What can we do with 42? Justin?
Divided by 3.
All right, well, where would it go? Is it Tanya's or Anita's?
Anita's.
All right, so we're going to put 42 right here. And you're telling me that if we take 42 and divide it by 3, that's going to help us fill these boxes in?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that equal?
14.
Nice. All right, so all of these boxes are 14. This box is 14. Now, hold your horses. Wait. Because right now, Tanya, does she have 14 and 14?
No.
No, so we're going to have to hold the phone here. Watch this. This one is obviously going to equal to 14. Just like, remember the last block here we added on the last one? Here we're gonna actually take away from this block. So watch how how I do that. I'm gonna still say, okay, this does represent 14, but does she really have 14 inside that box? So how are we gonna show subtraction? Did you guys do that last year at all? Okay, that's why we're just refreshing your memory. So what I'm gonna do is, we have to subtract how much from that box? 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the 4 and I'm going to put a little slash mark. That little slash mark means eliminate that section. Okay? If you ever see a picture with a slash mark through it, it means that section is not included. All right? So now, obviously, you can do a couple things. You can put a little 4 in there so you know how much you're taking away. Now, last class said, Mrs. Alms, can I put a 10 in here if I wanted?
Bingo.
Could you?
Yes.
Sure you could. You could do that. And so what calculation could we use to get to Tanya's then?
Subtraction.
You could use subtraction, which would be 28 minus 4, or what's another way? What's an addition problem you could use to get there? Yeah, you got it. I don't care. Either way, you're going to get 24, aren't you? Now, once you have that, can you rewrite the ratio? What's our ratio? What's our new one? Ben?
Oh, it's 4 to 7.
It is 4 to 7. What's the original?
24.
All right, remember, we always want the original. And then obviously we're going to simplify that, right? To 4 to 7, and then fill that in. Now, could I say once you have your picture, I could ask a couple other questions like, what's the total number of CDs now that Tanya and Anita have? Can you answer that with your picture?
Yeah.
Sure you can. What's the difference? How many more CDs does Anita have than Tanya? You see what I'm saying? You see how I can keep asking. There's a lot of questions I could ask from this.
You have to do one on a test, and then you
It's
ask us
18.
questions on it.
But see, that's what I'm saying is I want to make sure that you guys are able to use what you've done to kind of go a little extra mile. You know what I mean? Just see from this picture, I could do a lot of things with that. I can tell you, okay, Tanya doubles her selection. Anita triples. What's our new ratio now? You see? Do you see what I'm saying? It's not just end here and we're done. So that's what I want to make sure. Is first of all, I want to make sure you're back up to speed with just drawing these. And then now, I want to take it one step further. Okay? A lot of times, what I've seen in like Singapore math books, like I have tons of them. I don't have tons, but I have like 3 or 4 of them. And you know, a lot of times they actually draw these for you already. They give you the picture, and then you have to use the picture to answer so many questions. Does that make sense? So, which is nice because then you know that, okay, they give you the diagram. It better be right, correct? It's not you drawing it and answering. It's usually, okay, here's the picture. Now, figure out these questions from that. Extend from it. I'll manipulate the information. And just basically it is manipulating numbers. It's making them whatever you want. Can you double Tanya and triple Tanya's total and then rewrite those numbers in a ratio form? Sure you can. It's not hard, just knowing what they're asking and just being comfortable with those. Okay? So you guys understand what your assignment is tonight? You're going to finish both packets of it, problems that the assessment packets I gave you. Okay? And last year it was 1 packet. This year it's 2 because blame it on the operator. Noah?
Do they speak English in Singapore? I know a girl who.
Yeah, there's some American schools there, which obviously they would be speaking English.
POD.
My friend's daughter, well, my mom's friend's daughter, and actually my mom's friend now actually lives in Japan. They lived in Okinawa, and her first several years of school was at an American school in Okinawa, because she knew that she was coming back to the United States, so she didn't want her daughter not to be able to speak English when she came back. You know, she's a successful realtor, and she makes a living here. And then her mom moved back to be a head chef at a Japanese cafe. Huh?
What's her name?
Eiko?
My great grandpa was from Okinawa.
Was he? my husband wants to go and visit her because he wants to bring back a samurai sword because she can't send one over. I'm like, Matt, first of all, what are you gonna do with the samurai sword?
All you need to bring it back.
They're bending at circles.
I'll talk about my room.
But I mean, like, samurai sword, first of all,
Yeah,
we
you
can
can
put
put
it. You know, $10. This is probably as much as the sword.
Two-hand blade or no, was that two-hand blade?
1 second, honey. 1 second. Let me just pause this thing. Okay, we're